I need to know and understand which part of making America great and fixing the economy and reducing inflation, all of these executive orders that Trump is doing over the past couple of days, how this is going to improve the economy and help families and all of that. Because maybe I don't know and understand what improving the economy means. But I would imagine that if people lost their jobs or couldn't get a job that they had a job offer for, or if they moved for a job, I would imagine that that actually hurts families and hurts their bottom line. And then they can't go out and buy anything for the economy to actually improve. So I need someone that is really smart to chime in and let me know how these executive orders are helping anyone. All right, so we got this one. Trump orders into remote work and hiring freeze for federal workers. So we already knew that they wanted to get rid of remote work. They want people in the office. They need to get people into the office, spending money on gas, spending money on clothes, spending money on lunches out and about. They need to pump more money into the economy by getting them out of their homes because being in your homes, you definitely save money. So we need to do that. But the federal hiring freeze is definitely going to hurt some people. So let's look at this. Let's look at this post from Axios. Trump signed executive orders Monday, freezing the hiring of federal workers and mandating a full-time return to in-office work for government employees. Why it matters. On day one, Trump is following through on his promise to overhaul the federal government, which employs hundreds of thousands of people in the Washington region. He also issued an order that essentially reinstates Schedule F, a move that strips some civil servants of their employment protections. The big picture. Some of Trump's campaign rhetoric centered on reducing the federal government's footprint by firing rogue bureaucrats and career politicians and cutting government spending via the newly formed Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, led by Elon Musk. Requiring federal employees to come to the office 5 days a week would result in a wave of voluntary terminations that we welcome, Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who stepped aside as DOGE co-lead, wrote last year in a Wall Street Journal opinion piece. So they really do just want people to quit because they know that if these people did rush back to the office, that they don't actually have offices set up for these people anymore. Because why would they if they allowed telework? Anyways, state of play. The hiring freeze applies to all positions in the executive branch except for the military and other categories like national security, public safety, and immigration enforcement per the order. No positions that were empty as of noon on January 20th can be filled, and no new positions can be created. Trump also directed department and agency heads to take steps to end remote work arrangements as soon as practicable. The fine print. The hiring freeze will not adversely impact the provisions of Social Security, Medicare, or veterans benefits, the order states. That memorandum is set to expire in 90 days after DOGE and the Office of Management and Budget submit a plan to reduce the government's workforce. An exception, the IRS. It'll remain in effect for the IRS until the Treasury Secretary, along with others, determines it is in the national interest to lift the freeze. Zoom out. Trump signed another order Monday that dismantles some of President Biden's diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within the federal government. Through Biden's orders, the administration had prioritized recruiting folks from underserved communities, evaluating hiring practices through a diversity lens, and addressing pay inequities. A Trump official reportedly said more actions on DEI are coming soon that would impact private business. So this man had a job offer and it was rescinded. And all of the things that he did to prepare for this job is what some people do to prepare for a job. This man literally, okay, let's just get into the story. He said FJO, I think that's federal job offer, FJO rescinded and losing everything. He says, hey guys, I just wanted to say my heart goes out to you, all of you. I'm not writing this to villainize anyone, the federal service, or even our commander-in-chief. And since he said our commander-in-chief, that's kind of a fluffy way to talk about him. He probably voted for Trump. All right, he says, I just want to say that I'm sorry to any of you that are going through something similar and to those of you who might be as anxious as I was today. I am a current Fed who signed an FJO early in December with a 2 out of 10 EOD. I don't know what this means, a 2/10 EOD. I cannot tell you how excited I was about this position. It was everything I've been working for my whole life, a huge step towards something greater. Before confirming my FJO, my HR representative, who was awesome, by the way, informed me that no matter what, my job was safe, set in stone, as it were. Even if the president signed an EO, an executive order, my job was there waiting for me. I went all in. We found an apartment near DC, signed a lease, hired movers, and made all the necessary arrangements for the cross country move. Well, you know what happened next? I got the call this afternoon. My FJO was rescinded. I had to break the news to my spouse. We are losing everything. The thousands of dollars we've spent on the move, our house, which has already been rented out by other renters at the end of the month, and my current position has already been backfilled. I'm going to have to fight tooth and nail to get out of the lease we signed, and we never even set foot in the state. It will likely cost us thousands more. We will be homeless as of the 31st. My family, thank goodness, will be leaving to go live with my retired parents out of state for the next several months while I try to make sense of this, try to fix this. Again, I'm not saying this as a pity party. That's not what I'm interested in. I just want to post and say that I understand and that I see you. You are my fellow Americans, and your efforts, your hard work, it means something. If you have any advice, please don't hesitate to share. And thank you for your service. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It costs so much money to move. It costs money, even if you don't move, to start a new job because you have to get new clothes. You have to pay for gas. You have to pay. Sometimes you have to pay for training. Sometimes not. Sometimes you have to do some trainings that are not paid for. You have to get childcare. There are so many things to consider. And imagine this times thousands of other people. And then you got people that are just losing their jobs that will not have a paycheck. And like some people just hear the words efficiency and we need to cut millions of dollars or we need to cut trillions of dollars. And what those cuts equal are people's checks just getting sliced and diced. You hear furloughs, you hear layoffs, and those people will now have to try to figure out how they're going to eat. And people were like, going so gung ho, like, yay, we need to make sure the bosses have more money, and yay, the billionaire class needs more money. But these are real people that are getting furloughed, fired, or not hired for jobs that they thought that they had. Now let's shift to this. Trump puts all U.S. government diversity staff on paid leave immediately. What is he doing? He's putting this fear into people that they won't have a job. Now all of these people are going to have to flood the private market, the private sector for jobs. Is going to be wild out here. Trump has ordered that all U.S. government staff working on DEI schemes, Lord schemes, be put on immediate paid administrative leave. In an executive order late on Tuesday, he called for an end to the dangerous, demeaning, and immoral programs. The White House confirmed that all federal DEI staff had to be put on leave by 1700. Trump has ordered all U.S. government staff working on DEI schemes, oh my goodness, schemes, be put on immediate paid administrative leave. In an executive order late on Tuesday, he called for an end to the dangerous, demeaning, and immoral programs. Dang. The White House confirmed that all federal DEI staff had to be put on leave by 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday before the offices and programs in question were shut down. Since retaking office on Monday, Trump has acted swiftly on a number of key pledges through a raft of unilateral actions. He repeatedly attacked DEI practices on the campaign trail, arguing that they were discriminatory. DEI programs aim to promote participation in workplaces by people from a range of backgrounds. Their backers say they address historical underrepresentation and discrimination against certain groups, including racial minorities. But critics say such programs can themselves be discriminatory. In his inaugural address on Monday, Trump pledged to forge a society that is colorblind and merit based. Okay, when has this country ever been colorblind and merit based? All right. Tuesday's executive order took aim at what it called the illegal policies of DEI and DEIA, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Oh, who really needs accessibility? Oh my goodness. Framing them as being in opposition to U.S. law. Okay, that's kind of ableist. It said these policies had the capability to violate important underlying civil rights laws that protect Americans from discrimination. So, making it accessible for people that have disabilities might go against civil rights laws. Okay. The order further asserted that DEI programs undermine our national unity as they deny traditional values in favor of an identity based spoil system. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the move is another win for Americans of all races, religions, and creeds, and fulfills a campaign promise made by Trump. The memo seen by CBS was sent from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management to heads of government agencies, as well as instructing them to place DEI employees on leave. It made a number of requests, including the removal of public websites for DEIA offices. It also orders that federal hiring, promotions, and performance reviews reward individual initiative rather than DEI-related factors, and revokes a 1965 order signed by former President Lyndon B. Johnson that makes it illegal for federal contractors to discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin in their hiring. By Thursday, federal agencies must compile a list of DEI offices and workers, the order declares. By the 31st of January, agencies must submit a written plan for executing layoffs in DEI offices. The order also requires the Attorney General to submit within 120 days recommendations to encourage the private sector to end similar diversity efforts. Tuesday's order comes on the heels of another one that pledged to put an end to programs deemed radical and wasteful by Trump. That one, signed on Monday, declares that all DEI offices, positions, and programs will be terminated within 60 days to the maximum extent allowed by law. It is unclear how many government employees would be affected by these orders. Several large U.S. companies have ended or scaled back their DEI programs in recent weeks, including McDonald's, Walmart, and Facebook parent company Meta. Others, like Apple and retailers Target and Costco, have publicly defended their DEI programs. So that is where we are. We have a government that is cutting back on jobs, and they are trying to cut back on social safety nets like Medicare, VA benefits, different things like that. I didn't know that they were trying to limit accessibility for people, because obviously limiting accessibility helps other people. I mean, I don't know what this is. This is what these people voted for. This is cruel, but cruelty is the point. And this is what people voted for. We all, like, literally, there were so many of us sounding the alarms, saying that this was not going to be good. How is the economy getting better with any of these executive orders? Laying people off is going to mean that people are going to go hungry, not have the opportunity to pay their rent. Their kids will suffer. People are about to suffer. But I guess cruelty is the point. And they are letting you know that, if you are part of one of these marginalized communities at all, that, what, you're going to have to just figure it out. So that is where we are. Y'all needed to see this. We need to know where this is going. It's about to get really bad, really fast, because they're coming out of the gate being cruel. Let me know what you think about all of this. Join the conversation, share these videos. And if you're not following me thus far and you made it to the end of this video, please go ahead and hit the follow.